composite room. Now in this demo, in this example, we will see that when parent dies, child class also, child object also dies. So here, okay. Here we have taken example of house and room. House has rooms. So this is the example of composition, because here when you destroy house, room or rooms also will be destroyed. So room, just take classroom has got what? Classroom has got string name, parameter is constructor which accepts name, default constructor is also there, and setter and getter methods are there, set name and get name. Then we have house. House, inside class house we have room array. Room array because there are more than one rooms. That's why room array. But now this is an example of has a. House has rooms. House is a parent, room is a child. But whether this example is example of aggregation or composition, that will be proved at the end. So house has got room array, and apart from that, what does it have? It has string name, name of the house, address, number of rooms, number of rooms. In the constructor, now you know array of object, you know. First we create array of references, and for each reference we create object. So here room is a class. So this array means array of object. So first of all, you create array of references. Array of references. Then we are taking user input here. Now, though we haven't learned how to take user input in Java, here our main focus is not user input. Here our main focus is composition concept. So that's okay. For the time being, we will skip this scanner discussion. And what is happening in the constructor is this dot rooms of I is equal to new room. So what is happening in this constructor is that room class array of reference, and for each reference we create a separate room. We will see this in the diagram. House has got getter method for name and address, and house has got showrooms. House has got showrooms. So house, when you see house, you would like to see its rooms. So house has got showrooms. And what does that showroom do? That showrooms method traverses that array and invoke get name. So if a room has got living room, bedroom, kitchen, so you will be able to see all these names. So house has got showrooms method. It traverses that room array and displays all the rooms name. And now finally main function. Main function creates object of house. So let us draw a diagram for that. House is equal to new house, Samrat Mansion, Juhu, Mumbai, and 4. Let's see what is that 4. First of all, house has got how many members? Class house has got how many members? 4. One is room array, second is name, third is address, and fourth is number of rooms. How many rooms are there in a particular house? And in the constructor, only 3 values are accepted. Name, address, and number of rooms. What about this array? This array is created here. And then for that array, new room object is created. So when you say new house, So what are the members? House has got name, address, number of rooms. Address. I just write edit here. And number of rooms. So I just write here number in short. Number of rooms. You understand that number of rooms. And then this house class has got reference of array, rooms, reference. Rooms. This is just a reference. Rooms. Okay. Then what? When you create object, you pass Samrat mention as name, Juhu Mumbai as address, and number of rooms as 4. So in short, we will write here Samrat mention SM Juhu Mumbai. Just Juhu. I'm writing.
JHU.
Yeah. Number of rooms 4. We are passing 4. And now control goes to constructor. Control goes to constructor. So there we are saying this dot name is equal to name, this dot address is equal to address, this dot number of rooms is equal to number of rooms, and this dot rooms is equal to new room number of rooms. So number of rooms are 4. So that will create array. That will create array. Array. Array of 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 100, 104, 108, 112. And this array will be referred by rooms. This is what happens when you say this dot rooms is equal to new room number of rooms. And you know rooms dot length variable also you will get. Now that we know, so we are not going to discuss that. Here you can see the use of scanner class. Scanner class we haven't yet discussed. We are not going to discuss in this example. But remember one thing, scanner class is used for user input. So we would like to take user input. So I0, I less than number of rooms, I plus plus, enter room name. Enter room name. Let's say living room. This dot rooms of I is equal to new room. I means 0, new room. So a new object of room. Now room has got how many members? Room class has got just one member, name. So when you say this dot rooms of I is equal to new room, yes, this is a room class object, living room. LR, living room. And this LR will be, sorry, this object of room will be referred by this reference. And like that. So,
Kitchen.
3, 4. Study room, referred by this reference. Kitchen, kitchen, referred by this reference. Bedroom, bedroom, referred by this reference. So you can see inside house class, rooms reference, which refers to array of room class, array of 4 elements, and each and every reference of that array refers to individual object of room. Their names are living room, study room, kitchen, and bedroom. Okay. Now with that, house.get name, Samrat mentioned. House.get address, Juhu Mumbai. House has following rooms. House has following rooms. House.showroom. House.showrooms. So house.showrooms, where control will go? Control will go inside showrooms and it will traverse through that array of room and call
Number.
bedroom as per our diagram. And then let's renovate the house. Let us renovate the house. House is equal to null. Now look at my diagram. House is equal to null. So you are trying to kill parent. So what will happen? House is equal to null. So in the diagram, sorry, I did not write reference here. Initially, this house was referring to this. But at the end, we say that let us renovate the house. House is equal to null. Now look at what will happen. House is equal to null. When you say house is equal to null, that means house
Mark as garbage.
Yeah. House does not refer to house class object. So house class object will be marked for garbage collection. This is number 1. This is number 2. House class object has got rooms reference, which refers to array. So if this object goes, this will also go. Number 3. Now these all are references to these objects. So when these references they go, obviously these all objects also will be marked for garbage collection. That is number 4. So that proves when parent dies, child also dies. So that's why this is the example of composition. And what trick we have implemented here? How do we ensure that when parent dies, child also will die? We have created room object inside constructor. In the last example, if you remember, we had created teacher object in the main. So we had T1 in the main. As long as T1 is there in the main scope, nobody will touch that object. But here we have created all references in the class itself. So when your when your house gets destroyed, those objects also get destroyed. So you take any example for aggregation or composition. Suppose you take some different example. You should be able to prove that this is an example of aggregation by showing that when parent dies, child does not die. And take any example of composition, you should be able to prove that, see, when parent dies, child also dies. And output, enter room name. Okay. Composition example.
While explaining, we'll have to like write the whole code and everything.
Sorry.
While explaining this concept, we'll have to write the whole code.
While explaining this concept, you can explain orally, but suppose you are asked to show the code, at least some kind of algorithm you have to write. And somehow you should be able to explain, see, teacher's object is created in the main. So even if that department object is destroyed, teacher will not be destroyed because teacher ka reference main mein hai. In composition, you can show that, see, rooms object we are creating inside house. So room ka reference is there in the house object. So if house object is destroyed, room ka reference also will go. And since room ka reference goes, room ka object will go. So that is composition.
Instead of code, we can use the diagram and explain. That would be much easier.
Yeah. But first you have to understand that code. Code and diagram you have to understand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That trick you should know, na? Trick is important. How have you achieved aggregation? The trick is create teacher object inside main. And how have you achieved composition? The trick is room ka reference also should be created in the house. So if house is destroyed, room also will